Greetings, we meet again. Sorry it's been so long, but let's get to it. Have you ever wondered what sci-fi characters, scenarios, fantasy characters and scenarios smell like? Have you ever watched something that occurs in a world far, far away that never really existed to begin with and think, what does this smell like? Well, I want to discuss that in further detail through the world of perfume and answer the question, what does Darth Vader smell like? We're gonna start there. The extremely well-known Lord of the Sith, formerly known as Anakin Skywalker, created partially by Palpatine through years of manipulation and evil, basically. What does Darth Vader smell like? Let's find out. We are not gonna go all the way through from Anakin through to Vader. I'm just gonna cover the main Darth Vader period sans Anakin. We're taking it from Mustafar and we're going into the OG trilogy, so let's find out. So as many of us know in the Western world, I mean anyone globally, we know that after Vader's initial sins of murdering children and Jedi in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, he flies to Mustafar to kill the remaining separatist leaders, and then followed by Obi-Wan and his pregnant wife, Padme. They beg him to not be evil, and he says, no. And then him and Obi-Wan battle it out on the lava planet of Mustafar. This brings us to our first scent analysis period, when Vader is ablaze on the rocky shores of that lava river on Mustafar. What would a man smell like in such a scenario? This particular instance is a fantastic Imaginary Authors advertisement. First, Bull's Blood by Imaginary Authors. It is animalic. It is bloody. It's a metallic, that metallic like iron twinge that you get from your blood. You get that man is bleeding out on the shores. 3 of his limbs have just been completely chopped off of his body, and he's burning. So, a city on fire is the only other answer. A city on fire, truly just like smelling a burnt match. You're smelling things ablaze, charred, everything. You're mixing Bull's Blood and City on Fire together, and that is Darth Vader's baptism by fire. From there, we follow Vader to his surgery table back on Coruscant, accompanied by his new master Palpatine as he is being surgically poked and prodded by droids on a stainless steel, maybe stainless, I don't know, metal surgical table, half charred, lungs ablaze, barely able to stay alive. The first fragrance to illuminate this experience is Secretions Magnifiques by Etat Libre d'Orange. I will always mess up that name. This infamous discontinued release, smells like blood, secretions, sweat, semen, saliva. That man is covered in all of those things, most likely. Mostly blood, mostly sweat, probably a bit of spit, and maybe a little bit of the other stuff too. So you take this and Ganymede, which infamously has a very screechy metallic quality to it, as some is described as what it smells like to chew on aluminum foil. And if you marry those two things, I believe that's a very good illustration of what Darth Vader would have smelled like being operated on post baptism by fire. And then we come back to the OG period, suited up, existing as the second most powerful man in the galaxy for roughly 20 years, covered in black leather, some kind of plasticky space material covering his head and a good chunk of his body. And what does that smell like, so you ask? First of all, I want to start off with something you may not expect, which is Andrea Max Craft. It's a screechy aldehyde that smells almost like a disinfectant to some. Don't get me wrong, I love this fragrance. I've probably killed more than half of this bottle within 1 year. I love it so much. It is delightful and oddly enough, quite a sister scent to New Look 2024 from Dior. Either way, it has some Olemi resin in it as well, and I believe that uh, takes a nod to the old charred qualities of Vader's body when he was operated on. But this man is in and out of Bacta tanks all day long. That guy can't get infected. He's all screwed up. He's totally disabled rest of his life. That man probably smells a bit like disinfectant. Plus, you can't go without synthetic tar. Synthetic tar is the embodiment of black plastic. Obviously, tar, like some gasoline qualities, and it has leather notes in it. This is Darth Vader's suit in a bottle. Period. End of story. So that's my brief summary of what Darth Vader smelled like throughout several key points in his life and in his life story. And I think there's some reasonable, honorable mentions, like the entire Toscavot line. Toscavot's line is basically, what does sinful death stuff smell like? And it's basically Vader at various points throughout his life. I feel like Toscavot could be a nice illustration of what Vader ultimately smells like when he is being cremated by his son Luke Skywalker after he is turned back to the light and is now a Force ghost looking on upon him with his former master and Yoda saying thank you and good night.